Before we go too much further, let's get the reviews out of the way. What did you watch, and when did you watch it?
Well, I'll tell you what, here is a comment that I'm going to make, Brian, to you as I go to my notepad, because it has been a topic that has come up on my Twitter machine that in response to some of our clips on YouTube, when we tweet out the links to these things as a service to the public, free of charge, we tweet out these links. You click on. See, this is another thing. Did you know that somebody stole links from Hotchkiss Featherbottom? He had invented them about a year or two ago, but then somebody jumped in and yes, and somebody all that far back, and somebody jumped in and got to market with him first, but he invented the link. But we tweet the links to the YouTube videos of people, some of these rabble rousers in the minority have tweeted me back and said, hey, you guys just gloss over the WWE. You'll go into minute detail about what goes on Dynamite and tell them what all's wrong and everything and how bad they fucked up, but you just gloss over the WWE. You barely even talk about it sometimes. And I believe we've explained this before, at least I have. I feel like I have, Brian. Maybe I've got the milk of amnesia. But it's the reason for that in a lot of cases is because where the WWE is just kind of fucking boring, professionally done, not quite as many, near as many production fuck ups, and occasionally somebody drops Gable on his head or whatever, but normally not anything to fucking take to task in the ring on a professionalism basis. It's just kind of there, and it takes 3 hours. It gives you about 15 minutes of entertainment. Whereas on the other program, it's like trying to run through the Zapruder film and analyze exactly how many shooters were there, where were they coming from, and who was in the book depository when so-and-so went out on a stretcher. It's so unprofessional from so many different standpoints, and it makes no logical sense from one moment to another that one must try to keep up with these things as best we can. The other thing is like what do they call them little poems in school, Brian? The little short poems, the haikus. Did you study those back in grade school?
We did, yeah.
How many lines is supposed to be in one of those? Is that the 5-line deal, or am I thinking about the limericks with the girl from Nantucket?
I said we studied it. I didn't say I retained it.
You didn't say you retained any of it. It's brief is what it is. Well, that's what it's like. It's like the WWE is giving us a wrestling haiku, but it takes you 2 and 3 hours to watch the thing. Whereas meanwhile, AEW is over there like the meth head across the street after a 3-day binge, just prattling on, tweaking all over the fucking place. You don't know where to start in trying to analyze his fucking behavior. So I got a couple of comments about SmackDown, and you can just let me know whether you agree with me or not in terms of general overall. Why? They had 14,600 people in Knoxville, Tennessee. That's a goddamn hell of a house in Knoxville, Tennessee. And half the crowd was wearing the UT orange, and Bianca's hometown, she went to Tennessee. I don't know if she was actually born in the city limits or whatever, but she came out in the University of Tennessee colors and everything, and she wanted to get everybody to sing Rocky Top. But then when the music started, it was like a marching band Rocky Top instrumental, and they just sat there because they couldn't figure out where to come in. And she's not leading them. She never sang at all. She wanted the people to sing, but she didn't want to reveal that she couldn't carry a tune in a bushel basket. So about halfway through, they figured out, oh shit, it's there. And then they came in and sang the chorus twice. But how do you screw up Rocky Top in Knoxville, Tennessee? How is it possible to fuck up the presentation of the goddamn national anthem of Knoxville, Tennessee? These are just rhetorical questions, Brian, but feel free to kick in at any. Would you like to hear Bianca Belair sing?
I had never heard her sing, and I'm not too familiar with Rocky Top, so.
Come on!
Sounds like this is a win-win for me.
No, Rocky Top is the anthem of the UT anthem, but also it's the Osborne brothers. Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. You could just blare that on the loudspeakers in the middle of downtown Knoxville at fucking noon on a Friday, and everybody would just come to a halt and start singing. Once two strangers climbed old Rocky Top looking for a moonshine still. Strangers ain't come down from Rocky Top, reckon they never will. No, there's no organ. There's a fiddle and a banjo. No, there's no wind chimes either. But anyway, she did a promo about how happy she was. This is the point I was going to make, and then we'll move on. She did a promo about how happy she was coming home to her safe space to heal. She's got a broken fucking finger. She's literally holding a microphone with a goddamn hand that's got the fucking finger splint on it. She had to come home to a safe space to heal for a broken fucking finger. Ricky Morton worked for 6 weeks one time with a broken hand. Naomi came out and did the fucking promo about when she broke into Bianca's parents' house. And I said, oh, for fuck's sake. And they go into the Money in the Bank qualifier with Jade and Nia and Naomi. And by the time that's over, it's 30 minutes of the program. And I did say I would call out unprofessionalism. With Nia Jax, she went to bonsai the both of them stacked on top of each other. And Naomi moved and Nia Jax I can't believe she didn't pop both of Jade's implants. What the fuck? There is 2 reasons I can think of why that you would bonsai drop somebody in that fashion. You don't give a fuck or you don't like them. And don't give a fuck is usually reserved. Well, he's a job guy. We'll never see him again. Don't give a fuck. I got to get over. And don't like somebody as well. I'm going to show this fucking Jesus Christ. I would. And then it was 16 minutes till the next match started. And there wasn't even a big live in-ring interview. Brian, have you sat down with a watch on SmackDown or Raw lately and seen how long it is between things that happen that don't really fucking matter to begin with?
I haven't. You've mentioned this a few times lately. You've been walking around a lot with this stopwatch, haven't you?
Okay, well, because I got mad. Boy, I didn't even get to tell you at the top of the program about the badass battery-operated leaf blower I've got. Well, more on that later. They had a match with R-Truth, more on him later, against old JC Mateo. And how old, can you Google, how old is the former Jeff Cobb? Because they said he was in the 2004 Olympics.
42 years old.
Jesus Christ. I think maybe they ought to say former Olympian, because you wouldn't have thought that, but it calls your attention to it. And he beats R-Truth in minutes, and he's not bad. He has a nice finish. But basically, the story through the whole thing, the reason to watch SmackDown is for the 10 minutes that Solo and Jacob Fatu have an argument, and eventually they're going to break up. But besides that, and the 4 tag teams, now with Candy LaRue, the Street Profits, the Motor City Machine Guns, Ciampa and Gargano, now with Candy, and what the Meth Head and Masked Man. They had an argument until all the lights went out, and then the Wyatt goofballs came back and beat everybody up, and that was the first hour of the show. That's it. And then I'll do you better than that. The next half hour was Javon Evans and Phoenix against the Lucha Heels, which started 22 minutes after the last match had ended and went over 15 minutes until Ethan Page screwed the baby faces. And then we were an hour and a half into the show. Brian said it's easier if you keep an eye on the watch instead of the program. We got Zelina against Alba Fire.
There's no way you watched that.
Of course I didn't. And then we got an in-ring promo with Damian Priest, and he's finally beaten Drew McIntyre. He is not connecting with this living on the street gimmick. Is it because nobody on the street has custom-made leather outfits? Or what is not? They've tried to draw on his legitimate background of being fairly impoverished or living on or near a street. I don't fucking know. But is he too clean? Is he too gimmicky? What is he? What the fuck ain't working here? Because people ain't getting into it.
I don't know exactly. Sometimes it feels like guys are made top guys or pushed to be top guys just because of their size and everything, when sometimes maybe they would be better with another person. I think Priest with Judgment Day was one thing. Him as that group's leader or muscle worked. Him on his own, what are you getting behind? He's a babyface, so you got to get behind him. What are you getting behind exactly? He's won some big matches, and Drew's not going to be around for a while, I guess. But there's nothing interesting about him. I mean, again, I said it before, even his gear, just everything. So there needs to be almost like a complete revamp, which is crazy. They put the belt on this guy, but it doesn't connect with me at all. Priest is one of these guys at this point now that causes me to look away or change the channel, just because I'm not.
Don't look away. I'm hideous.
I have the Met game may be on one of the other monitors in here, but it's not interesting stuff.
Oh God! If you look at Damian Priest in the face, you'll turn to stone. I mean, there's a lot of tools there, and obviously they've seen that, and that's why they're trying. But I don't. Maybe it's that he has not felt comfortable, or to me, he doesn't look like he feels comfortable in doing what he's doing as a single now, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas, like you said, with a bunch of his buddies, maybe he is a buddy buncher, where you got to bunch him in with the buddies. Can you trademark Buddy Buncher real quick? In case, and then
Buddy Buncher.
We can call the women's division Carpet Bunchers. Buddy Bunchers and Carpet Bunchers coming soon to a store near you.
That trademark.
Will any of that make the final cut?
I don't know. This is your SmackDown review.
Well, you'll have to run it through legal.
Well,
but
yeah,
anyway,
we could definitely say Travis, don't use it, but go ahead.
Yeah, well. Oh, and good, me shopping for produce. I loved it, Travis. Thank you. So anyway, we were at 10 o'clock, and they have the Money in the Bank qualifier, Fatu and Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. And I love Jacob Fatu, but a 20-minute three-way with 2 job guys, and I'm good. We get to the meat of the matter. Is it Solo and old... the former artist of Jeff Cobb or whatever comes out, and they do a few things back and forth, boom, boom, boom. But when Jacob moonsaults old Andrade, Solo jumps up. He's like, do it again. And he distracts from the things, and they get mad. And Jimmy Uso appears and attacks JC Mateo, and Andre bumps Jacob out, and Solo beat Carmelo 1, 2, 3. So now Jacob is not happy with Solo or the other guy, and he's also not in that. There's some more top stars about to not be in the Money in the Bank than there is in the Money in the Bank. I wonder what's in the bank. Should we open up that vault? Get into that safe deposit box, see exactly what's in that bank. So by then it was 10:30. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, there's been different things I've seen online circulating recently that Triple H is not a fan of Money in the Bank. And people thinking that maybe this will be another one of these things in WWE that Triple H gets rid of.
Gets away with
Money in the Bank. Do you think Money in the Bank's been established to this point where they kind of have to do it? Or do you think it should go away? Should it change? What are your thoughts on it?
You don't have to do anything. Many things you should do. Have WrestleMania next year. Well, that's probably a safe bet. But no, the Money in the Bank thing, besides the fact that it's been overdone to begin with, think about this. At first, the idea was, well, whoever climbs it and will get a shot at the title. Well, then there became 2 titles. There became multiple champions that you could challenge. And then now every time they do something with the guys, they got to do it with the girls. So it's just, I don't know if it's special enough anymore at this point in time to make any big difference, but I think they can definitely, they could probably downgrade it. Is that the word for draw it back a little bit to where it's a TV thing over the course of the summer and use the pay-per-view for something else newer and fresher they might come up with, especially now since it doesn't matter. Everybody's going to buy everything and they get paid whether they buy it or not. But I'm unexcited about it. Just same thing, a bunch of multiple man matches on TV to get into a goddamn multiple man match. And that's where we've seen that before. It's the same old song, but with a different meaning since you've been gone.
All right, well, that
was the answer to your question.
Oh, is that
No, it wasn't.
Come on.
Because then we had to sit through Cody and fucking Cena. No, wait, first out. I'm sorry. In order here, the last 30 minutes of the show was another promo. They had a promo so long they had to take a commercial break in the middle of the fucking promo. So Cody's out first there forever, and then introduces Yeet. And it had already been going so long, they had to take a break during the fucking entrance. And then they came back and they were milking the Yeets, and then they brought the music down, and then Jesus started back up and they played the music again. And by the time that John Cena's music started playing, they had 7 minutes on the fucking air, and he spoke 2 minutes later when they had 5 minutes on the air. And by then they say a couple of things to each other, and Cena introduces Logan Paul, who has an entrance. And there were 3 minutes on the air. And Logan Paul does a good heel promo, but everybody's just standing. The fans were chanting, "Shut the fuck up." And yes, at him, but that's the way I felt. And just when Logan Paul's about to say something pithy to Jey Uso, my DVR froze. And I understand that they exchanged a flurry of their various moves about 2 or 3 times after talking about it for 30 minutes, and then everybody left. But Brian, is that worth 3 hours of seriously? How devoted do you have to be to sit there on any night of the week for 3 hours to get that out of it?
What do you think of the news that they're not going back to 2 hours? Remember, we originally told us.
Oh, goddamn, that's right. Yes. Oh, you son of a bitch.
SmackDown was always 2 hours.
I hate you.
They went to 3 hours at the beginning of the year when they went to USA. We were told that the summer at the summer. In the summer, they would be going back to 2 hours. Now they're announcing that
Yes.
probably because of the advertising revenue, they're not doing that.
Yeah, I know. I just heard that. You just reminded me of it. Because I just heard that, and now I hate you too. Much like every other Friday of my life that actually, I don't watch it on Friday because you can't watch it live. Jesus H. Christ. If you're accused of terrorism, they would tie you down and just make you watch the in-between travelogue and spots and commercials and merchandise. Sputnik Monroe would say the rags, the paper, and the pens that they're selling you to get to anything. That was SmackDown.
Oh boy, another winner.
That was my thoughts.
Another winner from the WWE. Those wonderful guys behind WWE Smackdown there.
But that is why that we go into more detail sometimes, because yes, something's happening in AEW in the same way that something happens when a railroad trestle collapses and a train goes off the fucking precipice. But over on the other side of the street, it's like a goddamn television version of Soma's.
Well, Jim, WWE seems to have it down. They are selling lots of tickets, making lots of money, charging more than ever before.
A fortune.
It's becoming a bigger and bigger story, it seems like, all the time. Yet, everyone could still use a little help selling. Everyone could use the right person, the right partner online to make sure you get your products into or in front of the right eyes.
Or sometimes into the proper people.
Into the eyes.
On what you're manufacturing.
The eyes. We're speaking about the eyes.
Well, you don't want to stick it in somebody's eye. You can put somebody's eye out with stuff like that.
Once again, we are professional, and professionally speaking, everyone can use some help with their online commerce, and Shopify is here for you.
Well, yes, Brian. And again, depending on what you're manufacturing, it may very well be that this item is going to go in the consumer. So but whether it's in you, on you, or in your periphery, the thing about it is, folks, you want to make some money. You want money and you want it now. Money. That makes the world go round. Let's say you got a dream. Let's say you've got aspirations. I'm not talking about the kind you need to take oxygen for. I'm talking about the dreams and the hopes of being a big business typhoon. And you need a commerce platform. And you need a website. And you need help with product inventory and payments and analytics. You need the business people to help you run your dream to turn it into reality. And that's where Shopify is your one-stop shop. Now, if you do not have a brick and mortar Shopify store in your location, I believe they're now in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, and Fresno, I believe. But you can just go to Shopify.com. Because that's where you're going to hear that type of thing come into your life. The cash register signifying you're going to make some money, folks, because Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all the e-commerce in the United States. They're the dark overlords behind it and growing. And they give you help with hundreds of beautiful, ready-to-go templates to express your brand and style. You don't have to learn how to do all this code stuff. Remember, Brian, the code people will send people to stay in your walls and spy on you. So you can bypass all this stuff.
That was never confirmed, but let's get back to our friends at Shopify. They power our online store, all our great merch, our t-shirts, ArcadianVanguard.com. They can power the listeners as well.
Yes, and there have been some reports of people in chimneys. But you can also spread your brand's word with the built-in marketing and tools that they have to find and keep new customers for you. And of course, Brian, the iconic purple Shop Pay button that is used by millions of businesses around the world. It's an iconic purple. As a matter of fact, did it not win a legal battle with Barney the dinosaur that now that Barney has to change colors? You didn't hear about
I
that
have
one
not even seen Barney.
in legal review.
Is Barney still a thing in society? I have not heard or seen Barney. In
Well,
years.
he's a dinosaur. Goddamn, they live forever. You don't ever hear about dinosaurs becoming extinct. Yeah. So Shopify, folks, has the best converting checkout on the planet. Your customers already love it because they're already slaves to it. Everybody's getting all their necessity, their food and sustenance from Shopify now to begin with anyway. So they're already there. They're on the hook. Now you can bilk these people for everything they've got, every last drop, folks. And if you want a $1 a month trial period to see what Shopify can do for you, then we can fix it up for you. All you do is you go to Shopify.com/JCE, Shopify.com/JCE. It's a $1 a month trial period, and you'll make $1 back in the twinkling of a bell or a ding. Yeah, bell. A ring-a-dee ding dong thing. Shopify.com/JCE will make you money after the initial investment of your $1.
That's right. As I said before, they power our online store. They could power yours. They're a friend of ours. Become friends with Shopify. One more time, Jim, that promo code and link.
That's right. They've raised our business up. They could up yours. Shopify.com/JCE.